No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done.
Okay, so one of the most slept on anime in 2019, Vinland Saga. We gotta talk about this anime. The story of Thorfinn, orphaned at a young age due to some craziness that happened. And wow, this story by Wit Studio. Let's talk about it. Now, as promised, in case you missed the video I made, it was a quick, short video just giving you guys my passion and excitement for this series, Vinland Saga. To give you a brief synopsis of the story, the main character, Thorfinn, at a young age, he went on a little journey with his father. His father was, at the time anyway, just kind of a regular dude named Thorfinn, but there was a lot more to him because this man was a legendary dude that just wanted to live a normal life and tried to shelter his family and of course his son Thorfinn away from the life that he once lived as a warrior and a Viking. But his past caught up with him, and at some given point, he is basically sought out by the people from his past crew, and he goes off on a small journey to do something when all hell breaks loose. A man named Askeladd and his crew set him up essentially to, spoiler alerts. And even though this happens in the first handful of episodes, I still don't want, if you don't want to be spoiled, I don't want you to get spoiled. You got 3, 2, 1. Thors is murdered right in front of Thorfinn's eyes, and Thorfinn is left there devastated. But opposed to just going with the rest of the crew back to his hometown or anything like that, Thorfinn goes nuts and starts following Askeladd and his crew with a path of vengeance. He just wants to avenge his father's death at the hands of this guy Askeladd and makes it his life's journey essentially. And so years go by as he's following Askeladd, trying to essentially kill him, but in a duel and in a battle, because he's seen that his father was an honorable man that wouldn't have it any other way. He wouldn't just assassinate Askeladd in his sleep. He wouldn't just, murder him in any old fashion. It had to be in a warrior's way, and that's the battle of fighting to the death. And so he would go on journeys and quests with Askeladd and his crew, and basically as payment for whatever Thorfinn would do, Askeladd had to fight him constantly. And so that's kind of the main premise of where everything goes throughout the story. Basically, Thorfinn following Askeladd, trying to murder him or trying to have a duel to kill him to avenge his father, but also there's just so much I don't even know where to begin. You got characters like Thorkell. Honestly, one of my favorite characters, this monstrosity of a man that whatever crew he's rolling with, they're in good hands, because dude is a nut job. He loves fighting more than anything. He will betray whatever crew he's with if it means that it'll lead to him having a great battle. And that character, he's just like, such a brute. But there's also a little bit of depth to him because there's a past connection with Thorkell and Thors. There's just so much story here that I was just blown away. And then when we start getting really deep into it is when we meet the prince from the king, and his name is, I want to say it's Canute, I'm not sure, Canute. Either way, the character development throughout all of these characters is insane. I mean, of course, Askeladd, he has his character development already set in place, but as we unravel little by little who this guy really is, that's one thing. Like, just starting to see, like, okay, he has a really dark past. He comes from a mother that was a slave at one given point, and just seeing what he tried to accomplish and what he wanted to do. Incredible. So he's there, and you just unravel layer by layer of who Askeladd is. But then Canute, that was just mind-blowing. Now, you could say that there's two different opinions, I would argue, on Canute. One is the change that he has is so dramatic that you could argue maybe it's unbelievable. But you got to think, too, that this prince, he was, in the midst of war, and he was basically a captive by Askeladd, and Thorkell is coming after him. You have so much different things, but the character development with this dude is, I don't care. It's incredible. I love it because you got this traumatic event where his caretaker, so to speak, Ragnarok, I want to say, he is murdered, even though in the beginning he doesn't know who did it, but eventually he does find out who murdered him. He goes from the most timid, shy, scared of everything, just not wanting to do anything at all, just wants to get back, to a warrior and a true person fitting of the term king. Because after everything happens, there's a whole thing of an argument of him wanting to be the successor to the crown. He has a brother that is also trying to vie for the title of king, and in the beginning Canute doesn't really care. He doesn't want that. That's not what he's trying to accomplish. He just wants to live kind of normally. Even being with Ragnarok, seeing that he kind of just would prefer a normal life. But once push comes to shove, his character just is astronomical, incredible when he finally finally decides, you know what, I gotta man up, and he just starts becoming a true leader. Again, you could argue it's a little bit of a reach that he just went astronomically 180, but I would say, considering the circumstances, having a shocking murder, the trauma that was, instilled in him throughout all of this, I think that's what pushed him over the edge to become the man that he needed to be very, very quickly. And all the characters around say the same thing. This guy changed rapidly. So you got that. But then Thorfinn. Honestly, Thorfinn, I think there's such a valuable lesson in all of it from start to finish with this character, because I want to say that there's a ton more story. This is only, should be anyway, considered season 1, and there should be more to come. I think at the end of the anime, they actually tease certain things. But something about Thorfinn that I really found to be unique and special and I loved about the character was seeing that he was so one-track minded of, I gotta, you know what I'm saying, get vengeance for my father. I gotta take this guy down. Holding that dagger, that it was his father's dagger, and constantly going after Askeladd, whatever Askeladd told him to do, I'll do it. But then you gotta fight me after this. And having that one-track mind kind of reminds me of a quote from Gato from Berserk. So when it's all said and done and his goal is somewhat accomplished, it really leaves a perspective of, well, where to next? What do you do with your life afterward, considering you grew up from a little kid to, what, he's about like 16, I want to say, at the end of this season? Where do you go from here? And, when his past starts coming back, the dude that was, a part of his village and trying to tell him, come home, let's do this. When that starts coming into play, he's so one-track minded that he can't think of a way to, like, well, no, I need to accomplish this first. And then the whole politics of the series of, again, you got this corrupt king and you got Canute trying to overthrow him, but it's such a very cautious situation that they're in. And I ain't gonna lie, I was just mind blown by this. Produced by Studio Wit, which I want to say they're the same studio that handles Attack on Titan. No, they are the studio that handles Attack on Titan, and they struck gold. I mean, art and animation, there was not a single episode that I could tell you, like, oh, it was mid. Every freaking episode was incredible. The fight scenes, when they needed to look 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, they look 12 out of 10. The battles of seeing, whenever Askeladd is being betrayed and going against all these people, the deep monologues, everything about this series is just incredible. Like, this series, I would argue, maybe you could say nothing is perfect, but this series is pretty damn close to being perfect. The characters all have depth. They all go through some incredible character development. The story and plot takes a twist and turn at every angle. One minute it's that they're just going to small villages. Next minute Thorkel is hunting them down. Next minute they're going into this precarious situation trying to overthrow a king. And without getting too spoiler heavy, but again, I do want to talk about majority of things that were really important to me about this. The ending. So if you don't want to know about the ending, first of all, I recommend, again, if you're going to shut this video off, go watch Vinland Saga right now. Right here, right now. Go do it. You do it. You enjoy yourself. Get the popcorn and watch you some Vikings going ham. But the ending, when Askeladd is there, forced to make a choice basically of his homeland or helping Canute. And what he chooses in the end is to save both of them by cutting off the king's head. Yes, spoilers, I warned you. And looking like he's a madman to save the situation, because if not, the king was going to order Wales to get destroyed, which is, his homeland that he was secretly holding close to heart until it eventually came out. And seeing him just go on a massacre of insane carnage, killing everybody to, again, appear as if he's crazy, make it so that Canute is, in the clear. He did nothing wrong. He wasn't trying to overthrow the king. And overall, taking all the blame on himself, eventually being murdered by Canute himself. That was one of the best endings. That was the best ending I've seen of any anime in 2019. Nothing else touched me. Nothing else hit me as hard. Nothing else was as deep, complex, and incredible as that ending. When he announces his full name, because he truly feels as though, the story that his mom taught him about King Arthur one day returning to save everybody, and that's what she named his middle name. I was just like, I'm just shaking talking about it. Askeladd, damn it, Askeladd! And where that leads Thorfinn's character is so interesting, how everything that happens plays a big role in, again, moving forward with Thorfinn's adventures. Because at that point now, the guy who he dedicated his life to eventually slaying one day in a battle, dying at the hands of the king, it kind of put him into an imbalance of, okay, what the hell? This was my goal right here. You can't die right now. And that was just so incredible, honestly. One of the best endings I've seen of any anime, period. It was just that damn good. And seeing Thorfinn's reaction trying to kill the king right there, and if it wasn't for Thorkel, Canute would have bought the big one too. I was just like, this was amazing. Honestly, Vinland Saga, I cannot stress enough. The music, incredible. The opening and ending, incredible. The characters, incredible. The art and animation, incredible. The story, the world building, the plot, everything about this series is freaking incredible. There was nothing where I could say they half-assed it. This character, no. The betrayal, the treachery, just everything from start to finish. Thor's, the Troll of Jom. And yeah, I just had to spill out my feels and my thoughts and my passion for the series Vinland Saga. Honestly, Studio Wit, they hit this one out the park. I mean, they've tried a couple different series. Of course, Attack on Titan, major hit. Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress, it was alright. But this right here, Vinland Saga, something very special. And I can only hope that there is another season. But even if there isn't, even if this is the stopping point and they never animate another page again from the manga into anime, don't get me wrong, it would be a shame because this is incredible. I think it stands alone so well, and the story is so nicely wrapped up and tied up together that it leaves you with like a satisfying feeling. Like, don't get me wrong, it's like, fuck, what happens with Thorfinn? But the thing is that Thorfinn didn't dream any further other than the dream that his father had, Thor's, and what Askeladd tells him at the end of like, yo, go to where your father couldn't go over there, you continue that journey. And Thorfinn is left broken. That is like, that it kind of leaves you, if anything, anxious, like, do I want to see more? Or is this like, it feels perfect to me. And again, I would love more, but if it didn't get another season and it didn't continue, I'm fine with it because Vinland Saga was just damn near perfect. Curious what you guys think about this though. If you've seen the anime Vinland Saga, how did you feel? Who was your favorite character? I'll be honest with you. For me to pick a favorite character is really tough. I loved each character for what they brought to the table. Thorkel, incredible brute. Askeladd, a legendary man. I just, so much from start to finish to see that there was honor in him, and it was just hard that he had to play this poker face heavy. Thorfinn, to be honest with you, for a main character, and I love him again, he wasn't even like my favorite. I would honestly argue if I had to choose a favorite, it'd probably be Askeladd number 1, Canute number 2, and then Thorfinn number 3. But they're all incredible characters, so it's like it's very neck and neck for me. And if you haven't watched Vinland Saga, I hate that you watched all the way through this video because you got spoiled, but go watch it. Go watch it. Do yourself a favor. Studio Wit did a classic right here with Vinland Saga's anime. 24 episodes. Every episode means something. And this is a classic in the making. But that's all I have for this one though. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links of course are in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule. Anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace in, and Vinland Saga, amazing series. 10 out of 10, baby. I don't care. It's that damn good. You